So Daredevil Born Again just wrapped up a few days ago, and I just finished watching the final episode. Um, I can't. I have to say, I'm not impressed. The original show, I loved the original show. I watched it. I finished it up a couple weeks before, or a week or so before this show premiered. And they did a 2 episode premiere. So I'm a really big fan of the original show, but I'm not nostalgic about it. And this one, it's disappointing. And that's really, it upsets me, and it's not. No, let's just get right into it. Born Again, it doesn't compare to the original. It premiered with 2 episodes of. By the way, spoilers for the whole show. I want to nitpick it. I want to nitpick everything that I disliked about it, everything that I liked about it, because I did, even though I thought it was disappointing, I did think it was good for what it was. I think it's fine. It's not the worst Marvel TV show that they put out. There are definitely worse. But spoilers, regardless. So the first 2 episodes, 10 minutes in, or the first 10 minutes of the first episode, is they're all in a bar. Matt, Karen, Foggy, they're all chilling out. They're all doing their own thing. And then they get attacked, and then Foggy dies. In the first 10 minutes. And during that whole time, during that whole sequence, during the whole fight, I was just in disbelief. I'm okay with them killing off Foggy, with them attempting to set up Matt's character, because in Born Again, Matt is set up to be a more violent Daredevil, and throughout the entirety of the show, he's struggling with his violent nature, and the death of Foggy Nelson was just one of the catalysts for him to go down the more violent and evil road. So I'm not upset with them killing off Foggy, but please, the original show got canceled in 2018. It's been 7 years since the original show ended. Please reestablish your characters. It's been so long. So after Foggy's death, after the first 10-15 minutes, they all go their separate ways. All 3 of them. Foggy dies. Karen goes to California, I think. I think that's what she said. And then Matt starts his own business. And so we don't get much of the trio. I'm not upset that they're doing this. But please, have the original characters back. At least for an episode. At least for some time. Not in the first 10 minutes. Not just in the first 10 minutes. And then there's Kingpin, or should I say Mayor Fisk, because he becomes mayor in this new show. I'm not opposed to them going down the mayor timeline. I know that's comic accurate. I know all that jazz. But did we forget what happened at the end of season 3? It was a very public thing. Season 3 of the original show. It was a very public thing. He overtook the entirety of the FBI. And apparently everybody just forgot about that whole incident. And they freaking elected him mayor. How does that happen? How? And he just somehow manages to get out of prison, and these first 2 episodes should have been 3. They needed to be 3. I was so irked by so many different things in this. Moving on. Fisk is having marriage trouble with his wife, with his Vanessa, which is again very weird because in seasons 1 and 3 of the original show, they would have gone to hell and back for each other. They would have done anything. Vanessa waited 5 years in Spain or something like that. I think it was 3 years just to come back to Hell's Kitchen for Fisk. Same thing for Fisk. He did everything for her. So the fact that they are in marriage counseling because Vanessa cheated on Fisk while he was in, it behooves me to like think about what the writers were thinking. Going on to episode 3, that they start this new arc, the one with White Tiger. White Tiger is a vigilante like Matt Murdock is, and he saves somebody who's getting jumped by 2 cops, and he accidentally kills one of the cops. Well, no, he doesn't accidentally kill one of the cops. One of the cops slips and falls onto the train tracks, and then he dies very, very violently. Oh, by the way, this show is much more violent and gory than the original show, which was kind of weird to me, but like, okay. Going back to these first 2 episodes, it's very obvious that this show has a much higher budget than the original, because like there's a lot more elaborate shots, there's a lot more CGI, there's a whole sequence in the beginning where Daredevil is just like jumping and swinging around, and it's a very janky CGI Daredevil. And the original charm of the original is just gone. Just gone. Like, it's kind of one of the reasons why I like the original. The budget was low, so they had to do a lot of stuff practically. And that was great. That was brilliant. Visual effects are meant, it's my belief, that they should only complement the practical stuff that they're doing. All right. Now that train's done. Moving on to episode 3, White Tiger. So he accidentally kills a cop. At least that's what they're saying. So they go to court. The police take him to court. And it was so dumb. It was just so dumb because like at the end of it, like Matt, like this is my trump card. He reveals White Tiger's secret identity. I forget his name, but he reveals his identity, and I just facepalmed. Because him of all people should know how precious a secret identity is. So he kills the White Tiger kills a cop. He reveals his secret identity, and then so bad. Business as usual. I'm gonna go back on the street and help some more people and save some more people. Bing bong, he's dead again. Surely nobody's gonna have a vendetta against me. Like all the people I put behind bars, the cops that absolutely hate me. Nobody's gonna be out for me. It was so dumb. It was, and I get what they were trying to go for with, like, the legal system isn't working. It doesn't always work, and they like tried to drive that point home with like another guy who got thrown in jail for a week for stealing a box of cereal, which I don't know. I'm not going to comment on that, but they set up that plot point. The whole story arc. They set up the arc. Like, the justice system doesn't always work. So sometimes you have to resort to violence. You know? Episode 4. This was the one episode that I thought was very reminiscent of the original show. Since Matt went out to find Frank Castle, Punisher, and they have this dialogue of them just struggling with their violent natures, with them wanting to take revenge on the people who had done them wrong, on all the evil people in Hell's Kitchen. And Frank, if you've watched the original, is very pro-violent. He absolutely wipes out everybody who he deems is unworthy of justice. It's his own version of justice, is what I'm meaning to say. And Matt believes that the law should be justice, which, true. It's very true. So both ends of the spectrum. It's a very interesting concept. I like their dialogue. I like their dynamic. It's the best part of the show. Thing is, Punisher is only in a few episodes. I think this episode and like the last episode, something like that. But White Tiger dies in that episode, and then he dies in that episode, and then Matt just he's not even distraught by it. He's not even fazed. Moving on. This episode, I didn't really get it, because like it's a bunch of Scottish guys just robbing a bank and telling jokes, and the police lady, the person that's running the hostage negotiations, she's like cracking jokes because apparently it's supposed to be funny, but I don't get it. What was the point of this episode? Anyways, this episode didn't feel like an ending. Maybe I'm just misremembering it. But the new characters, as long as I'm on this new character train, are just not memorable. The new, like, the Matt's girlfriend, his new girlfriend, he's had like 5 now. His new girlfriend, the therapist, just isn't a good character. Just not interesting. The only really interesting characters are Fisk's secretary and the kid that he hired to be like his private influencer. I'm not really sure. I think he was just an influencer, but I'm not really sure. In Matt's new partner in the new law firm and his big boss, they're nothing burger characters. They just are not interesting. And this guy, I mean, he was okay. He was a minor villain in the story, and he was like, I used the blood of my victims to make murals of like the stuff, like, Mayor Fisk is evil, and he was just kind of gross. Like, he was just gross. His whole shtick was gross. And again, excessive force, it's playing at Matt's more violent nature. Then the final 2 episodes, or no, not final 2 episodes. That one, I forget what that one is about. The final 2 episodes were good. I thought they were good for what they were. And one thing that irked me about episode 8 was that Oh, what was his face? What's his name? I need to look it up now. Poindexter. Poindexter tries to assassinate Fisk, but he's in jail, and and he escapes from the infirmary, and nobody notices. He like kills 2 people, nobody notices, and he's just out. What the hell? I don't get it, guys. What? That was too easy. Like, it was a high security prison, and he just kind of walks out. Final 2 episodes were good, though, and they set up the next season. Well enough. I don't know what. The good things that I have to say about the show: it had good cinematography. It had some neat ideas. Like in the first and in the first and 8th episode, they played with like the aspect ratio, where Matt was like zoning in, and he was listening to the noises and whatnot. And I thought they like zoomed in, and the aspect ratio went like wop wop. So that I thought that was kind of cool, and it was a generally well shot and well edited just series overall. For what it is, it's just fine. Like it's just fine. They took a lot of missteps, like so many missteps that I just did not like. I did not like how they set it up. I didn't like most of the new characters, the majority of the new characters. And like, I see all these good reviews on like IMDb, everywhere, like Instagram and whatnot, and I feel like I'm taking crazy pills, but I'm not, because I'm all out of crazy pills. I need more. Okay, that's it for me. I'm not the biggest fan of the show, but for what it is, again, it's fine. Okay, goodbye. Goodbye.